Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and this is my first layout using the 2018 June kits. And I just sort of chose a few things right off the bat that jumped out at me. That floral paper from Bella Boulevard, and then I really like some of the phrases on this Pink Fresh Studio paper, and some of the colors match those flowers. And my assignment for today, or my focus, is to incorporate these die cut tags from Pretty Little Studio onto my layout, and they are in the Project Life kit. And there are actually a bunch of them. Some of them have phrases, some of them just have shapes, but they're white, and so you can easily color these or, do whatever you want to them. And I'm going to use one photo today. It's this really cute black and white picture of Reese. It's just a random day. She's in the car, and I was getting her out, and she was in a great mood. And so, of course, you always got your cell phone there. So it's just a cute picture, and I've had it on my desk for a while, and so today is the day that I'm going to scrap that one. So I kind of wanted to stack the tags as not stack them on top of each other, but kind of create sort of kind of like this, just rows of tags with my picture in the middle or in there somewhere. But I didn't want to use a lot of pattern paper on the background because I wanted the tags to be the focus. And so I pulled out some of the Turquoise Mist cardstock, and that's from the cardstock kit. And then I just tore a little strip from that floral paper and stuck it to the bottom and thought that's going to be my starting point, and we'll see where this goes. I know I want to use the color kit, and so I'm going to add some white gesso to the background and just sort of lighten up the area where everything is going to go, and also give a barrier between the paint and the background to kind of toughen up that cardstock a little bit. So I changed my mind on using so many tags, and I just narrowed it down to 3. And I'm just going to sort of create a horizontal design along the top of that paper strip. And I'm just going to start to sort through all of the Project Life cards, all of the Pink Fresh Studio embellishments. We got a ton of Pink Fresh Studio. Their brand new collection, Simple and Sweet, and it is so, so pretty. And I'm going to use one of the frames from that collection around the picture, and then a Project Life card behind that's got some coral and some pink. And then I fussy cut that little wonky scalloped yellow circle from a Project Life card, and I'm going to incorporate that. And then here comes the color kit this month. If you got the color kit, it's so pretty. There are 3 different shimmers paints and then a set of Vicki Boutin stamps. And what I'm going to do here is I pulled out a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'm going to just color some swatches on it using the color kit to create sort of color on paper to go behind the tags, kind of like that. I keep putting the tag over it because there weren't really any solids in the pattern papers this month, and I wanted something solid to go behind all of those die cut pieces in the tags. So the 2 paints here that I'm using are in the color kit. They're brand new Shimmers releases. The pink one is called Pinko de Mayo. I love that name. And then the peach one is called Going Peach Side. And I'm also incorporating some of the bright pink Vicki Boutin acrylic paint from last month, and then some of the Dina Wakley yellow acrylic paint. I think that was from February. So it's fun to get the color kits because you can keep everything and mix and match from month to month. And so now I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to use all those little splotches to back the tags. But in the meantime, I'm going to kind of stick together the tag. Now my picture does not fit all the way in that tag, in the frame, but that doesn't bother me because I'm going to be layering things all around it, so it's not even going to matter. So now that my background is dry, I'm going to do the packaging technique. I don't think I've done the packaging technique in a while. I've been on an acrylic paint scraping kick lately, and so it felt good to do one of my favorite techniques again, or a technique that I love so much. I did not invent that, but I love it. I know so many of us use this technique, and it is tried and true and works every time. I'm going to kind of combine the pink and the peach a little bit and just smudge it down, use some water, use my brush, let it run and drip, just to create some color on the background because, the tags and the picture are going to kind of cover it up a little bit. And yeah, I just want something in the background. So now this is almost dry. I should have waited a little bit longer, but all I'm going to do is add some glue to the tag and then stick it down and cut around it. And now you can see what the tags say. And so if you don't have a pattern paper or something specific that you want to, back a cut file with, use your mixed media to create it yourself, just like this. So for this flower, I thought I would add a little bit of dimension by adding a little bit more of a darker pink color to the middle, so it would look, a little bit darker in the center and then sort of lighten up as it goes around the edges. And I didn't wait for that to dry. Yeah, I should have, but I didn't. Because who has time for that? I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get this done. When I'm on a mission, yeah, I should have used my heat tool, but I didn't even do that. I just stuck it down. It's not even dry. Oh well. And I smudged it. Can you see that? I smudged it. That's okay. I'm going to wind up adding some more stuff to this anyway. So I like how that looks. I've got different colors going on, and all of these colors are in that floral paper that I've got going on the background. But what's going to wind up happening is, look how shimmery that is. That's the new shimmers. It's so, so pretty. Is the Such a Lovely Day yellow. It's hard to tell here, but it is really, really bright. And so I want to soften that up a little bit. So I'm just going to smudge some gesso. And here's what happens when you smudge gesso on something that's not dry. Look at the yellow. It's smudging. It's okay. It's going to wind up looking all right. But I thought, you dummy, how many times have you done this? You're supposed to wait till it dries or else it's going to smudge. But whatever. It's smudged. It's a little bit more yellow than I wanted, but it's all right. So then I decide that I want to jazz up the edges of the tags. And so I just stick my brush into the shimmers and lightly go around the edges and then smudge it with my fingers. So it looks messy on purpose now. So that's a tip. If you mess up on mixed media, just make it look like you did it on purpose. Because, mixed media is supposed to be messy and imperfect anyway. And so, yeah, just smudge it and, yep, just use your fingers, smudge it. So now I've got a pretty shimmery outline around each of the tags, and I love how that looks. I wanted to add a little bit more of a darker pink to kind of pull from the darker color that's in the paper with the flowers. And so I pulled out another shimmers that we got in a color kit a while back. It's Spritz, and it's called Ruby. I cannot remember which month it was, but I know it was from a color kit. And so was this one. This one's more of a peachy red color, and it's a Vibes Mango Tango. That was also from a color kit. And I'm just trying to kind of pull the colors that are in that floral paper to kind of scatter around the page a little bit. So at this point in the layout, I remember thinking, do I even really like this? I don't know if I like it at all. But I kept going with it, and I think it turns out in the end. This was the fun part right here, and that was going through all of those really gorgeous and bright, pretty little studio flower die cuts that Kim Watson actually designed. She is a fantastic designer. And then I'm also going to pull in the Pink Fresh Studio die cuts and kind of do some mixing and matching. I didn't want the tags to stay so white. I knew I was going to overlap and tuck in flowers here and there and little embellishments. I'm going to add that little circle piece that says "You're So Special" right on top of the left of the picture. It worked out perfectly. It was the perfect spot for that, and I like the way that yellow circle sort of outlines it, and it looks like she's looking directly at it. And that's something that I like to do with my pictures, is where I situate them on the layout depends on where the person in the picture is looking or where their head is turned. So yeah, I like to have them looking at things on the page. So I've got the Pretty Little Studio and Pink Fresh Studio flowers kind of mix and match there. And then I went back to that Bella Boulevard paper and fussy cut out a few more flowers to pull in some of those flower colors and shapes from the paper at the bottom. And I'm going to very carefully start to stick things together so nothing moves. And then I do want to raise the tags and the picture up, so I'm going to add some foam. And that's just cheap craft adhesive foam that I get from Walmart. There's like 40 sheets of it. I think they're 5x7 in a $5 package. It's great. I pulled some embroidery floss from my stash. I've got a gray color, a blue color, and pink. And I'm going to trim those up later, but I just wanted to get something in the tags, the little circles, because I feel like a tag is not finished unless it has a little ribbon or something sticking out of it. And this little sheet of stickers is also from Pretty Little Studio. Very, very bright and colorful. And I'm going to add a little black and white one there underneath the picture. It says, I think it says Be Bold, Be You. And I wanted a little more coral on the background because I've got so much pink. So I added a little bit more of that Mango Tango color, because when it dries, it definitely dries lighter than it does when you first spray it on. I've pulled out some thread from my stash. I've got that peachy color, I've got yellow, and then the minty light blue color. And I'm just going to add a little bit underneath the picture and then above the picture. And this is going to add a nice little pop of yellow up at the top. And I know I've said this before, but thread is a great, cheap, and easy way to add texture and color to your layouts. I think I use it on just about everything that I make. I'm going to glue everything down. I like where it is. I don't want it to move. So I'm going to get that taken care of so nothing is going to go anywhere. And now I'm going to work on these threads. They were kind of warped because I keep all of my thread in a little Rubbermaid container, and you know, they're all wadded up. I don't really take care of them as far as keeping them all nice and organized. They get all tangled, and so I'm gonna I trimmed them up, but I'm gonna come back to those later and try to straighten them out a little bit more. This is from Pink Fresh Studio. It's little circle epoxy stickers, and I'm gonna use one of those with a little butterfly. And then I'm going to pull in some puffy stickers. Those are also from Pink Fresh Studio. We got a ton of that new collection. It's so, so pretty. Lots of flowers. The colors are beautiful. I cannot wait to use that periwinkle blue color. But when I decided to use that floral paper, that is the one color that's not in there. So I have not used any of that periwinkle blue color. It's so pretty. I'm just going to start to play around. I'm going to use that puffy sticker at the top that says lovely, and then see what other floral stickers I have, whether they're die cuts, chipboards, or puffy stickers. I'm going to use this cute little pink butterfly just because I wanted to and I thought it was cute. My desk is a mess. Can you see all these embellishments closing in on me? I really need to have a desk overhaul and clean everything up and put it in its place, because it's like an avalanche. It's just, yeah. You know how that goes. I'm sure you've been there. I stay there. I never get it fully cleaned up. Those are the Vicki Boutin stamps in the color kit, and I'm going to just get wild and crazy and stamp directly onto my background. I'm going to test it out first. This stamp says, "You're the best." And I thought, you're going to screw it up. You're going to screw it up. Don't do it. But I did it. And what do you know? I actually did it straight. I was very impressed that I did not mess that up, because you know what happens when you stamp directly onto your background. I'm also going to do it again. I love this stamp. It says "Hello Love," and I love the scripty font. So that's all the stamping I'm going to do on this background. Now I do want to make the little letters on this tag stand out because they're very light, so I just lightly traced around them with a pencil. And then I'm going to make sure all the embellishments are glued down, the ones that I haven't glued down yet, because hardly anything ever sticks to gesso because it's so gritty and it has such a different texture. Nothing likes to stick to it. So I stuck my fingers in a little bit of water and kind of ran it over my embroidery floss here just to kind of soften it up and kind of make it curl and curve the way I wanted to. And when I finally got it like that, I added some glue underneath it because I did not want those little strings to move. And then I thought, let's do something at the top. So I just kind of cut a wonky line out of the top of the paper, and then I'm going to add a little sliver of the flower paper up at the top, just to kind of give the top a little bit of something. But I didn't want to get too much going on up there. I did want to keep some of the open white space between the bottom part of the page and then the top. So this just gives it a little something kind of peeking out from behind the cardstock. And it's the same pattern at the bottom, and so it kind of just flows. Now I'm going to do a little more fussy cutting with a couple flowers. I picked a pink one and a blue one, and then I'm going to add some coral thread under it. So I've got most of the colors in the layout represented up at the top. And I am going to add some foam underneath those two flowers there just to raise them up a little bit. And then this is almost finished. I'm going to add in some lines for journaling, and I didn't really have any place great to journal, so I'm just going to do it right here at the bottom, and then I'm going to come in with some black ink splatters, and that's the shimmers from my stash. It's called Night Moves. But that's the final layout. I like it. I like how it turned out. You know, sometimes layouts just change as they go, and they don't turn out like your first thought, you know, your final image in your head, how you thought it would turn out. But I like how it turned out. I like all the colors and the flowers, and the tags are really, really cute. So I hope you guys use those, and I can't wait to see what you do with them. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the kits or the products or techniques or anything at all. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.